Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am the daughter of Floyd Cootley from Chalouse and Doreen Sampson from Siska. My dad's mom and dad was Mary and Joe Cootley, and my mom's parents was Susanna Swartz and Richard Swartz. I do have a biological grandfather, Johnny Sampson, who is buried up at Coldwater. My name is Tracy Wimbush, and I'm the program manager for the NWSFA department at the Nicola Tribal Association. And on our recent AGA, the managers didn't have time to do our reports, our verbal reports, and so I thought I would take this time to do this and we could put it on our website. So first off, I would have thanked all of the people who attended the AGA. The people who took time out of their day to come and hear what we've been up to, all of the elders, and all of the leadership that showed up. I thank everybody for their time. When the board of directors was doing their talk, they did mention the NWSFA department and how well we were doing. But the department isn't just one person, and at this time I would really like to thank my co-workers, Jessica Urquhart, who is my right hand woman, and Sarah Martin and Tiffany Wimbush, and Lita Gomez and Neil Todd. Without having a good team behind me, we wouldn't be able to do the great work that we do. So, of course, we did have a report in the printed booklet at the AGA, and that report was moved and seconded and accepted as the report. But I just wanted people to know what else we've been up to. So I made a bunch of notes here, and they're kind of all over the place, so we'll see how we do. So, as many of you may know, Jessica Urquhart's been with us for quite a few years already, but Sarah Martin has just started with us in this past August the 29th, and Sarah is our biologist. So we're hoping that having a biologist on staff, that we will be able to start to expand our fisheries department into other things, and we could actually start to work on the word stewardship that is in the Nicola Watershed Stewardship and Fisheries Authority name. So we have Sarah on board, and she's been writing some proposals, and we've done a proposal on the species at risk that may be interesting. And we're going to be, if we are lucky enough to get that proposal accepted and approved, we will be doing the first year, kind of like a feasibility study more or less, on the brown bat and the spotted bat. And what we would like to do over time is start to do some more species at risk work here in the valley and into the Thompson and Fraser areas, as we have bands down there too that might have species at risk that we need to look at and monitor. So that is something that Sarah's working on, along with a few five-year plans that we will start hearing about more in the future. We didn't really get to talk much about the funding of the NWSFA. And what I'd like to inform people is that last fiscal year, we did manage to get a brand new Dodge Ram truck, thanks to the funding through the AFS agreement and the Department of Fisheries and Oceans. With our own funding, we managed to move around some funding, and we did get a 21-foot travel trailer in our inventory too. So our inventory is starting to grow in capacity, and by this growth in capacity we will be able to do more projects out in the field. I guess that the other thing that in regards to proposals, we're doing the species at risk for the bats. but Jess always does habitat restoration proposals, and we are in, I believe, the third year of an FHRI funding agreement, where we will be able to do some more habitat proposals. The other proposal that we did write was a community fund proposal, and that is for Rivers Day. And what we were hoping to do was an education campaign and a bit of a cleanup on the Coldwater River this year if we get that community funding, which is about $1,500, of which we would have to do 50% for. So that will be coming out of our surpluses that we've managed to work at the last couple of years. Some of our, as we're talking about the surpluses of NWSFA, the other work that we'd like to do with our surpluses, and that we have been doing in the last couple of years, is we've been doing a kokanee AUC area under the curve work for our local kokanee stocks. And last year we also funded having a summer student. Now the student itself, the student herself, Nina James, she got funded through the ASETS program, but we couldn't put her out there by herself, so we had to fund one of our senior techs to go out with her, and that funding came from our surpluses. So what they did throughout the year was they went and they were doing fry recovery, we're calling it. All those little pools that are out there in the summertime, and you see like a whole bunch of little fishes in there. They were out there actually saving those fishes from those ponds that were drying up. Nina and Pat also did some cultural activities. They did some picking and some processing. They also did some other work that could only happen during the summers with the summer students. So what else were we up to? Oh, so just to let people know what I've been up to is that along with being the program manager, you know, we do take in calls from the community members, and this past summer I took in 21 calls just on fishing questions from community members from all of our 7 bands, including the Lower Nicola Indian Band. I am the Mid-Fraser rep for the BC First Nations Fisheries Council for the next 3 years. My term had just expired this past December, but I have been renominated and chosen again for the Mid-Fraser rep. I am also the delegate for the Fraser Salmon Management Council for the Nuage Band and for Siska Band. And the Fraser Salmon Management Council is a process that's been going on for many years. Many of the leadership in the past was going to meetings called the I forgot what it was called. Anyway, it was it developed into the Fraser Salmon Management Council, where we are going into negotiations with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans for true co-management of our salmon runs. So we'll keep everybody informed on that information, especially the 2 bands, but I do send out the information to all of the bands so that they know what's going on. I'd like to thank all of the people who answered our questionnaire over at our booth. Nicola and Alice Monroe were the 2 that won the jackets that was the prize for answering the questions. So my clerk Tiffany will now be taking all of those and compiling all of the comments, and we'll see what kind of information we gather from that. I'd like to take this time to thank everybody and have a good season.